friends, my name is Olivia. I make videos about books on the internet, and today I'm going to be talking about what I wish for in the upcoming Raven Cycle TV show adaptation. A few quick things to note. The Raven Cycle is my favorite book series of all time. I have a lot of feelings about it, and a TV show is happening. Presumably. It's been kind of a long time since we've heard anything about it. It was announced, I think, in like 2017 that it was being produced on the Sci-Fi Network, but last year we did get our first spark of true concrete news. Maggie Stiefvater kind of announced that she had spent the summer writing the pilot for the TV show and given us a few little snippets of what was in that pilot, which is super incredibly exciting. I had some reservations about the TV show because, you know, there are lots of TV show adaptations that have been really terrible, and, you know, taking the work of an author and adapting it without that author I think can often be really tricky. So the fact that she had like at least her hands on the pilot make me really excited for at least the pilot and for the upcoming show as well. So I thought I would share with you guys some thoughts I have, some things I hope are present in the upcoming TV show adaptation, whenever that may be. Number one, I have a lot of feelings about costume design. More so than I've ever had for like any show ever. I usually don't care too much about that. But I feel like the fashion aesthetics of the characters in the book are very well fleshed out, and I'm very particular about them. In particular, I am very particular about how Gansey dresses. I went to college in Washington, D.C., and I know a lot of boys who dress the way Gansey's described, and I hate it. It's awful. I find it the most revolting fashion, like the shorts with the salmon pink like collared shirts and the polos and the boat shoes. I hate it, and I want to be exactly like that in the TV show. I like this facet of Gansey. He dresses like a frickin' dork, like the most annoying white bread rich boy from Virginia ever. I think it's a fairly important part of his character, and I could totally see costume designer like toning that down for the sake of being more likable on the show, and so I understand if it happens, but I really would like his aesthetic to be maintained along with the other characters. Blue is a character who makes a lot of her own clothes and dresses very quirkily, but I don't want it to become like iCarly, Nickelodeon teen TV show like levels of quirk. I want her to look like someone who makes her own clothes, who buys things from Goodwill, who's kind of putting together these weird shambles of outfits. I trust they're gonna do justice to Ronan and his all black aesthetic, so I'm not really worried about that, but please, costume designers, do not shy away from making Gansey look ridiculous. Number two, of course, comes down to the casting. I actually don't have like a fan casting in my head that I want for the show. I know a lot of fans have like their perfect Gansey and their perfect Ronan in their head. I don't particularly have that. My only real wish for casting is that they cast actors that are kind of unknown, at least to me. I think it's really enjoyable, especially with the adaptation of a TV show, of a book, to have the actors be a complete blank slate to you. That way they really become that character in your mind. You have no other impression of them besides the person that they are playing. I also really hope that Sci-Fi, that's the channel the show is on, if I didn't mention that, I really hope that Sci-Fi does not cast 28-year-olds to play teenagers. I get that this is going to always happen with TV shows. You want to cast adults who are more reliable for filming and things like that, and there's just an expectation of teenage characters to look older on TV shows, so I get it, that's cool, but I think their youth is really important in the series, and I think that a lot of things, a lot of events will hit harder if we really understand how young and fresh and new these characters are in the world. And so I hope they carefully toe a line where they don't make them look too old and too ridiculous. I like the Sci-Fi Network, I like the things they produce, but I can see them getting a little campy in certain areas, and I hope that this is one place where they kind of don't rely on camp too much. Number three, and this is very important and very multifaceted, I want them to take their damn time. It's a 4-part series, right? It's a 4-book series. I don't know how long the TV show is gonna be. So if like one season is 22 episodes, 40 minutes an episode, I'm not saying that the first book has to be an entire season, because that could get dragged out too much. However, My worry about the adaptation of this book series is that it's actually, at its heart, at least I believe, a very character-driven novel. So if you look at the sequence of events in the books, there aren't too many massive twists and plot points every other chapter. There are plenty of those, of course, but a lot of the chapters are dedicated to just getting a picture of who these characters are, of their lives, of their inner workings and their inner thoughts. And I would hate for a TV show to kind of brush over that too quickly for the sake of getting to some exciting plot points. I also want to take the time with their relationships in this book. I'm trying to keep this video spoilery free as much as possible, but there are of course relationships in this series, and there are the end game relationships, the kind of people that the characters end up with in The Raven King. My tea is ready. Give me a moment. But before these endgame relationships happen or become clear, there are relationships and moments and twists and turns that come before the establishing of those relationships. And these relationships are slow burns in the truest sense of the word. There's some romantic plot points that took me off guard. I get very... okay. Ugh, I just love this book series so much, and when I talk about it, it's like a constant battle to like keep rational and not just freak out. Anyway, on a serious note, I would hate for... I think the relationships that come before the endgame relationships are still extremely important to the plot, to the development of the characters, to insights into these individuals. And I would hate if the TV show rushed through those moments to get to the endgame relationships. I'm thinking of one relationship in particular where we really spend most of the series learning who these characters are as individuals before they are truly paired up. And I think that makes for a much more beautiful relationship in the end and just makes us fall in love with these characters. And so I just really hope they don't rush that slow burn for the sake of having like an eye-catching romance for the audience. I love television, right? But I am distrustful of television networks and audiences being as patient as book readers often are with the series that they're reading. And so I would hate for the TV series to rush those moments for the sake of making sure people are still interested and still intrigued by the plot. It's hard to come up with like a list of what I want this TV show to have, because I want it to have everything and to be everything I dreamed of and like to be good. But I think what everything really comes down to, what my list comes down to, what my hopes for this TV show come down to, is I hope the TV show preserves the authentic, true heart behind these books. It's scary sometimes when you're a fan of something that gets adapted to the big screen because you have your own relationship to it. And I think we often, at least I know I do, see like what is on the page, the book version, as like the truth and the true author's intent and the true world of these books. And once it's on the TV screen, there's stuff that's lost, there's stuff that's missing. And now there are all these TV fans out there who have their own relationship with these characters that you once had, that maybe felt more special, more personal to you. But I don't want to be a gatekeeper of this series. I want people to fall in love with the Raven Cycle and come read the books and enjoy the TV show. And there's something scary about, you know, a TV show being made and being out there and people forming a relationship with that TV show that you feel misses out on what the books are actually about, or misses out on the true author's intent, if we want to use those words. So my only hope really for this series is that it feels like the Raven Cycle. It feels like Henrietta, Blue and Gansey and Ronan and Noah and Adam and everyone feel like who those characters are. They feel true to what Maggie Stiefvater has created. Perhaps that is a bit too much of like adhering towards the author's purpose, but I really love these series. I love what the author has done, and so of course I want that to be maintained. But honestly, even if my favorite lines aren't in the TV show, even if Gansey is dressed a little bit cooler, as long as it feels like the Raven Cycle, that is my main hope. So I kind of started this video having no idea what I was going to talk about or where I was going, and it probably felt like that a little bit, but those are some things I'm hoping for, some feelings I have about the Raven Cycle. Let me know what you're feeling about this TV show. Are there any particular scenes that you really want to see on the screen? Do you have any fan castings you want to share? Do you have any experiences with good or bad TV adaptations of a book that you love? I'd love to hear those thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon with another video.